Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the start of another weekly reading vlog. If you watched last week's reading vlog, you may notice that I am sitting in exactly the same position in exactly the same clothes because I literally just filmed the outro for last week's reading vlog and I am starting this one's now because it is currently Tuesday the 4th of July, so I'm a little bit behind schedule, but it's okay. This is going to be a little bit of a weird one this week because obviously I'm starting on a Tuesday. I have plans on Friday night and then over the weekend I am planning to do a 24-hour reading vlog, which I of course will not be showing in this vlog. So the timings are going to be a little bit strange. We'll work it out though. My plan is to vlog throughout the week, pause while I do the 24-hour reading vlog, and then wrap up a little bit after the 24-hour readathon. And then you'll get the weekly reading vlog before you get the 24-hour reading vlog. That's the plan. We will see if everything comes to fruition. I don't know. But anyway, in terms of what I'm currently reading, I did in last week's reading vlog start The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, and I am 100 pages through this. I said in the previous reading vlog that I kind of felt like not much has really happened yet. I don't feel really gripped. I feel like we're just about to start the proper story now and it's 100 pages in. So not the best of starts, but I'm hoping that it's going to pick up for me now because I have seen so many people say that they really love this book and I would really like to be one of those too. So that is my main plan for this week. If you don't know, this book is basically about Florence, who is a ghostwriter for a very popular romance author, and she has a 4-book deal with this publishing company. She's currently trying to write the 4th book, the final book in that deal, but fairly recently she had her heart broken into a million pieces by her ex-boyfriends and she now no longer believes in love. So she is really struggling to write this 4th and final book. She's trying to write this sort of big makeup at the end after the 3rd act breakup and she just can't find the words. She just can't believe in love, so can't write something in which you would see or feel love, I guess. And she goes to her editor to try and get an extension on this, but when she gets there, there is actually a new editor called Benji, who is this very attractive young man. He doesn't know that she's a ghostwriter, he just thinks that she is the assistant for this author, so he basically tells her, you should tell this author that she needs to get this manuscript into me tomorrow. Florence goes home a little bit distraught. There's no way she's going to be able to write this by... Why can't I speak? There's no way she's going to be able to write this book by the next day. So she ends up going out for the night instead with her roommate who wants to cheer her up. And they end up going to this bar where they're doing readings of, like, people are doing readings of their work. And she goes to stand up to do hers, but when she does, her ex-boyfriend also stands up. And she's also very upset by this. Also, if you watched last week's reading vlog, I feel like I'm giving you the exact same synopsis. But if you didn't watch last week's reading vlog, you might want to know what the book is about. So... a bit of a catch-22. But anyway, she then goes outside and ends up getting a call from her mum to say that her dad has passed away, and so she goes home to help with funeral arrangements and all of that stuff. And while she's there, a ghost shows up at her door, and it is none other than Benji, the editor. And she has no idea what has happened to him. She doesn't quite believe that he is a ghost. She sees ghosts, which I probably should have mentioned. Her and her dad, I think, both see ghosts and usually like talk to them and help them like find out what this unfinished business they have is and then like help them pass on. But she's obviously like a little bit not really in the right place to be helping any ghosts right now, especially not this like hunk of an editor that she didn't really get on with the first time she met. She's kind of got other things to be worried about right now. But yeah, that is basically what's happened so far. Like I said, that's taken 100 pages and then the actual main purpose of the story is to be about her and this ghost and like I'm assuming falling in love because it talks about how she's supposed to like she's gonna need to like believe in love again to be able to finish this book, so obviously she's gonna fall in love with Benji. We're nearly a third of the way through the book and that is just about to start, so I'm hoping I'm gonna be gripped soon and I hope I'm gonna love it just as much as everyone else seems to because I hear people raving about this one. If I finish that book, big if, I have another book. I'm looking around because I haven't brought the book with me, but the other book is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I can't quite believe I've not read this one yet because it's obviously huge. I feel like everyone has read this book and has some sort of opinion on it. I'm actually going to be part of a live show discussion for this book next Monday. So I think the discussion will have happened by the time this vlog goes up. So I will link it down below, but it's for Steph Love's Literature Book Club. We are going to be reading Twisted Love and then discussing this live. And I'm super excited to do so. I've heard such mixed things about this book, so honestly I'm really excited just to just find out how I feel about it. I don't think I have read the blurb and I don't really want to, so sorry, no synopsis, but I kind of want to go to this one blind because there's such mixed opinions on it. I kind of just want to go in and then see how I feel about it. So potentially, if I finish Dead Romantics, I will start Twisted Love. If I don't start it throughout this week's like normal reading vlog, I will definitely read it as part of my 24-hour reading vlog at the weekend. This will probably be the first one I pick up. So I'll either be finishing it if I've already started it or reading the entirety of it in that reading vlog. But either way, this book will be read this week. But that is it. Those are the plans for the week. You're all caught up. Right now, however, the main plan for tonight is to edit last week's reading vlog. So I'm gonna go ahead, get myself ready for the night, get my dinner on, get myself comfy, and then start tackling this weekly reading vlog. Fingers crossed it's not a bitch to edit. Really need to learn to start editing my weekly vlogs throughout the week instead of leaving all of the freaking footage until the day before I want to post it, because I have over an hour's worth of footage to go through. Thankfully that is now down to 35 minutes and I've got 15 minutes of it left to do, but my god, it is time consuming. I really need to just like do a little bit each day, like each day that I've actually vlogged, the next day I could edit that footage, so then there's less to do at the end of the week. Like that would be a lot better for me and my little brain. But up until this point I have not been that smart. So this is me mentioning it in the vlog to try and remind myself and hold myself accountable. But yeah, we'll soon be done with editing and then hopefully I will have some time left for the rest of the evening to actually get some reading done. Hi guys, happy Wednesday. I don't have too much to update you on, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't end up reading that much of the Dead Romantics last night. I got up to page 144, so I think around 44 pages. I think I last updated you at page 100. And we're getting into the thick of it now. We're getting into like the actual storyline, like Florence both trying to like help with her father's funeral, and there's like these really like impossible tasks that he kind of wanted done for his funeral that are keeping her busy. Well, she is also dealing with Benji and trying to help him through whatever is keeping him here. I'm still I mean, I'm nearly halfway through now and I still just don't feel hooked. I don't feel like I'm connecting to the characters at all. Like the characters don't feel fully fleshed out to me. They don't elicit any feelings from me. I think it's maybe just something about Ashley Poston's writing style. I feel like it's maybe just not for me, because I know so many people love this book, but I just feel like I'm just not connecting with it. And I also feel like I know where this is going. I feel like I know where the plot is going and what is actually happening right now. I could be totally wrong. This could be really embarrassing, because right now I'm like, oh my god, this is so obvious. Like I was literally reading it last night and there was a line, I won't say because spoilers. I read the line and I was like sitting in bed and I was just like, oh, this book is so obvious. And my boyfriend was just like, so I could be wrong. It could be incredibly humiliating if we get to the end and I was wrong. But I feel like I know where this is going. And very early on, like as soon as we've started, honestly, I kind of guessed it from the beginning, but now I feel like it's been confirmed. I also feel like I'd heard a lot of people saying that the writing was like quite beautiful and heartbreaking and hopeful and brought a lot of feeling out, and I'm not getting that at all. Like I'm just not, if I was annotating this, I wouldn't, there's no lines I've seen that have really spoken to me that I'd want to underline or tab. I don't know. I really want to love it. I am still going to finish it. I'm not going to DNF it because I want to see how it continues and if my feelings change at all. But at the moment, it's not going well. The plan for the night now is just to like cozy up and read. I would really love to finish this tonight so that I can get on to Twisted Love, because Twisted Love is up there and it's just calling my name every time I walk past that freaking TBR stack. I'm just like, I want to pick it up so bad. But I'm going to finish this one first, so I'm going to go head to bed, get cozy, maybe get an ASMR room on, and try to finish off this book. guys, happy Thursday. So I didn't quite manage to finish the Dead Romantics last night, but I did get up to page 266, so I've got less than 100 pages to go. And something strange is happening. So obviously the last time we spoke, I said that I really wasn't enjoying this one. I just didn't feel connected to the characters, I didn't feel connected to the story. I felt like where it was going, it was really obvious. I wasn't meshing well with the writing style at all. And that continued up until about page 250. And then I started to really enjoy it. Up until that point, like I was continuing to read, I was just like, obviously this romance is blossoming, and I was like, I just don't believe it. Like I just don't believe what is going on here. I'm not feeling anything. I realised that like the blurb for this honestly isn't great in my opinion. It does say when tragedy strikes and Florence has to head home, the last thing she expects, blah blah blah. But this book it's less about this romance between her and Benji. It's more about her grief after her dad passes away, her coming back to this hometown that she pretty much felt chased out of, her rekindling her relationships with her family, fitting back into the family dynamic, her coming to terms with that, and Ben being there alongside her while she does that. I feel like that's more the premise of the book than what the blurb kind of makes it out to be. And honestly, I don't know if it was the writing that changed at page 250 or if it was just that I sort of adjusted my expectations and realised like what this book is actually about. Because obviously I was waiting so long for this romance to kick in, I was waiting for that to be the main focus point of the book, and it's just not. So I don't know if that is what has changed my mind, but the last like 20 pages or so I have been loving. There are some beautiful moments in this. Like I'm loving seeing how Florence is learning more about herself and really coming into her own more and developing her relationships with her family again, and also how Ben is alongside her while she does that and helps her along the way. Like it feels more like Ben is there to help her rather than like she is helping him to pass on. Honestly, this is why I struggled to DNF books. This is exactly the reason, because it took me up until page 250 to start enjoying this, and now I'm really enjoying it. Someone explain that to me, because the math ain't mathin'. But now I have less than 100 pages to go, and I'm like, I almost like don't want those pages to go by because I feel like I'm really gonna enjoy those, and I feel bitter that I didn't enjoy the first like 2/3 of the book. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. Maybe this is one that I'll have to come back and reread at a later date, knowing what it's actually about and what I'm going into, and maybe then I'll enjoy the writing a lot more. I don't know. But I'm currently on my lunch break. I do need to get back to work now. The plan for tonight after work is just to finish off this book, hopefully in one sitting, and then we'll see what my final thoughts are. Okay guys, I have just finished The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, and honestly I am so conflicted on what to rate this one, because obviously you know the first 250 pages I really was not vibing with this book at all. For me it was feeling like a 2-star read, but then the last 100 pages I adored. Someone please explain to me what happened. This book was such a whirlwind. Like I love those last 100 pages. The ending, there's like this bit where you're like waiting to see if it's all gonna work out, and I was honestly, I think I was reading at like 3 times speed because I was just like, oh my god, I need to know, I need to know, I need to know. I don't know if I even breathed. And then there was a scene towards the end where I literally filled up. Like I nearly cried, which obviously shows you that I was invested in this book and I was invested in the characters, but I swear that only came in the last 100 pages. The way this was all wrapped up was just so beautiful. I honestly feel like I need to reread this, like maybe come back to it in a few months, knowing what it's actually about, knowing what I'm setting myself up for, because I feel like it could really change my rating and I might end up really enjoying the whole book. Maybe it was just my expectations that were ruining it. So surprisingly, I think I'm gonna give this a 4 stars, because I know that seems stupid because for 250 pages I really wasn't enjoying it, but those last 100 pages I honestly adored, and it just seems ridiculous to give this anything less than 4 stars because of those 100 pages. So I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars for now, and then I definitely will reread this like in a few months time, come back to it, and we'll see what my rating is then. But yeah, that was such a strange experience. I did get some book mail earlier on though that I wanted to show you, because honestly I'm obsessed. These are stunning. So these are the Fairy Loot editions of Elizabeth Acevedo's Clap When You Land and With the Fire on High. I don't know why I forgot the name of that because it's like one of my favourite books. I love Elizabeth Acevedo's writing so much. I love all of her books, and these editions, oh my god. So this is Clap When You Land, obviously. It's just, honestly, like, how stunning. I'm absolutely obsessed. And then the ombre edges. And then With the Fire on High, also stunning. Honestly, I think I'm gonna have to reread these books soon because I absolutely adored them when I read them, but it has been a long time. And I have never really been like a reread girly, but I don't know, there's something recently that's making me want to reread books. Like, especially if it's years later, just to see if my feelings have changed. And honestly, like, obviously you know what the book is about and you know if you're pretty sure you're going to enjoy it again. But it probably would just be like a whole new experience reading it again. Like, I'm starting to understand why people reread, which I didn't think was ever going to be a thing for me. But yeah, these are the 2 new pretties that are joining my shelf. I'm absolutely obsessed with them. But I am definitely still in a major reading mood. It is only like 7:30, so I've still got plenty of time to read. So I think I am now going to pick up Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I really don't know what to say. Like, I feel like I am going to be trash for this. Like, I feel like it's a proper trashy romance, and I think it's probably like a love or hate type romance, but for me it's probably going to be a love. Like, this is my sort of kryptonite, the guilty pleasure romances. I said I wasn't going to look at the blurb, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go in blindly. So I'll give you like a little bit of a synopsis when I next update you. But oh my god. Content warnings. The story contains explicit sexual content, profanity, mild violence, and topics that may be sensitive to some readers. Like, you know you're in for a wild ride when that is at the beginning of the book. Happy Friday. So I did start Twisted Love last night and I ended up getting halfway through the book. I am on page 176. I stayed up way past my bedtime because I could not put this book down. And let me tell you, if I was able to function on limited sleep, minimal sleep, I 100% would have stayed up and read this entire book in one sitting because I did not want to put it down for 1 second. From chapter 1, I was hooked. Like, I feel like Anna Huang could be a new favourite author of mine because the writing style is just everything. Like, the way she writes, it just totally gets me in my feelings. Like, from the first chapter I was squealing. I really wish that I'd filmed myself when I was reading this so that you guys could have seen my reactions, but my camera needed charging. But I was literally like banging on the sofa, I was squealing, I was just like, honestly, I cannot get enough of this book. I cannot get enough of these characters, the way she writes the characters, the way she writes the sexual tension between them. I am absolutely trash for this book. When I realised that it was dual POV, the squeal that I let out, I did not realise this was going to be dual POV, but I've said this before, to me romances are always infinitely better when they're dual POV, so I could not have been happier about that. We're basically following Ava and Alex, and Ava is like this really like sunshiny 22-year-old, and Alex is her 26-year-old brother's best friend, and he's like this dark, broody, like really dark though, like dark stuff guy. And her brother goes away for a year to like do some like medical experience, I think, and while he's away he asks Alex to look after his sister, like keep an eye on her, make sure she's okay. She's got an ex that's been harassing her a bit, so just to keep an eye out. So Alex ends up moving into Ava's brother's house, which is next door to hers, which is a great start. And very quickly he becomes extremely protective of Ava, and what starts off as him kind of seeing her as just like a little girl, I guess, like his brother's little sister, quickly turns into something else. This one is very much like touch her and you die vibes, and I know some people hate that. Like I know people hate like this whole overprotective thing, and in real life the things he does in this book, I would be so pissed off. Like I wouldn't put up with it. I wouldn't want anyone I knew to put up with it. But to read it, I just can't get enough. This kind of reminds me of Flock, like the Ravenhood series, I can't remember. I didn't finish that series, but Flock and whatever the second one was, it kind of gives me those vibes, just in the sense that Alex is like, he's got a really dark past, he's involved in some really dark things, but he's also like this really successful business person, so it's kind of giving me like that series vibes. Honestly, I wish I had annotated this one, and I haven't annotated in a while, and I'm still undecided if I want to annotate again, but I wanted to annotate this one. Like there were so many lines that, like I said, had me squealing or laughing, and I wanted to underline them and just remember them forever because they just brought out such emotion in me. And I feel like I'm loving it even more because, like I said, the first 250 pages of the Dead Romantics that I just read just didn't bring any emotion out at all, and this is the complete opposite. Like I am so invested. It is definitely very dark as well. Like definitely check your trigger warnings before going into this one. Both of these characters have some very dark and traumatic things in their past, and I'm sure it's probably going to continue throughout the book. We have a lot of flashbacks, but we also have like we're heading towards something that could be a very, very difficult scene. So definitely check that out. But if you're all good, please read this because I'm absolutely obsessed. But yeah, I'm not going to get to read any more today, sadly. I would really love to finish this one off, but my boyfriend and I are heading back to my mum's tonight just for like a nice like family dinner, and then of course I'll be back here tomorrow bright and early to start my 24-hour readathon. So I will probably be finishing this one first in my 24-hour readathon, reading as many books as I can over that amount of time, and then my plan is to hopefully come back to you guys after that, and then I can give you my final thoughts on Twisted Love and just sort of like wrap up the week. That's the plan just now, but you know, it's me. Things rarely work out. Alright guys, it is now Monday evening. The readathon has finished. I did finish it on time. I finished it last night, which I'm very happy about. I definitely think that my new favourite way to do a 24-hour reading vlog is to do 12 hours one day and 12 hours the next, because I honestly just had the best weekend and I got a lot of reading done. I will leave you to wait until the reading vlog comes out. That will be coming to you on Saturday evening. All being well and good, I should have time to have it up by then, but I think it's going to be a good one, so I hope you enjoy it. I did, in that vlog, end up finishing Twisted Love first before I picked up anything else, and you're probably not going to be too surprised to know that I gave this one 5 stars. I was just trash for this book. I absolutely loved it. It continued in the same way the whole way through. Like I was just so addicted to it. That's the only way I could describe it. Like I was addicted to Anna Huang's writing the whole way through. I was so invested in the relationship. I was so invested in the characters. I definitely love a romance that has like a dark side to it, and this one definitely had that. And it's gotten me so excited for the second book, because the next book is about Ava's friend. What is her name? Bridget? She's like a princess, and I'm pretty sure her romance is between her and her new bodyguard, and you kind of see a little bit of that blossoming in this one, which just got me so excited for the next one. I love companion series, how you get little snippets of the characters in the following books. It just gives you that little bit of oomph to continue and find out what happens in their stories. So yeah, I definitely need to order Twisted Games, I believe is the second one. I need to get that ordered and read that as soon as possible because I'm so excited to continue. But yeah, Anna Huang, definitely in the running to become a new favourite author. I just ate her writing up. I won't tell you how many books I got for the readathon, but I am halfway through one. There was one that I didn't manage to finish, but I got halfway through it. So I'm currently halfway through A Little Bit Country by Brian Z. Kennedy. This is a YA contemporary. We follow Luke and Emmett, and Emmett is a young guy. I think they're both 17, and Emmett wants to be country music's next gay superstar. He is very openly gay. He's grown up in Chicago, so he's grown up in a more sort of diverse area, I guess. And he moves to, I think it's called Jackson Hollow. Jackson Hollow. He moves there to move in with his aunt to start working at Wonder World, which is the theme park owned by Wanda Jean Stubbs, who is this massive country music star. He's going to be working there in like one of their performance areas, so he's hoping to sort of like get noticed while he's there. And then we have Luke, who has lived in Jackson Hollow his whole life. He is also gay, but he is not out, and he's absolutely terrified of being out. His mum is very religious and very homophobic. She believes that being gay is a sin, so he hides that from her as much as possible, which is, it's so sad to read. It's really hard to read at times. He also just has this fear that any action he takes, getting too close to another guy, like even being friends with them, is going to then start a rumour in Jackson Hollow, which is not the most open-minded place. And he then starts working at Wonderworld as well. The two of these guys meet, obviously strike up a romance, and we follow their story from there. And so far this one, to me, it's fine. Like, I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying some of the ideas that it's exploring, particularly, like I said, about Luke's sexuality and how he's dealing with that in a very sort of close-minded, narrow-minded town, especially when his mum is so hateful towards his sexuality. And I'm intrigued to see how that continues. It can be quite a difficult read at times, but obviously because it's YA, it's not like too difficult. I am enjoying their romance. It's very like cute and wholesome, but I think the problem is I'm maybe just done with YA contemporary. Maybe I need to just like close the door on those. I said to my 24-hour readathon vlog, which I've also just outroed, that YA fantasy, no problems with that whatsoever. I can still have so much fun with a YA fantasy, but when it comes to romance, I think I need an adult book. Not just because of the smut, I love a bit of smut, but just in terms of the writing, the like relationship itself, the way things are explored, it's just different. And I feel like, to me, the YA contemporaries, although they're like exploring like important ideas and although they're a lot of fun, they almost feel like a bit more sort of surface level than an adult book. That's maybe really bad to say. I don't really know how to explain it other than that a YA contemporary doesn't get the same feels from me as an adult book does. But yeah, I am obviously going to finish this one. At the minute, it is sitting at like a 3-star read, which is good. It's a good, enjoyable, very quick read. I'm definitely speeding through it. I'm just not sure it's going to be a new favourite. So this has been a very successful reading week, not just in terms of the readathon, but in terms of just like my normal weekly reading. Obviously, I started the week by reading The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I finished this one and gave it 4 out of 5 stars, which no one saw coming because it definitely did not start on that track. But I ended up really loving the last 100 pages of this one. I loved the exploration of grief, the family dynamic. I loved how their romance blossomed, and I loved the ending for this one. Then I obviously picked up Twisted Love by Anna Huang, which I've just said was a 5-star read. And of course now I am halfway through A Little Bit Country. So we have 3 books over the course of this week. Obviously there were quite a few more because of my readathon, but we have these 3 that are just like normal weekly reading vlog books, I guess. But that will conclude this week's weekly reading vlog. I will of course be back next week with another one, but I really hope you enjoyed this vlog. Let me know, as always, what you've been reading this week and your ratings. I'm always looking for all the recommendations. I'm no longer going to do my emojis based on things I see. I'm just going to pick a random emoji. So if you made it to the end of this video, pop the B emoji down below. First one that came to mind, just to let me know that you made it to the end of this video and that you enjoyed your time here. But as always, if you did enjoy the video, please do give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe for more bookish content from me. Comment down below with any of your thoughts and feelings. I do reply to every single comment. I love you all, and I'll see you in my next one.